Welcome back to Recap Central. Today I'm going to explain a science fiction movie called In Time. Spoilers ahead. Subscribe for more videos like this. In the future, humans have achieved immortality. As long as you have time, you can live indefinitely. But time has also become the currency. Will lives with his mother, who looks younger than him. This is because after 25 years old, people stop aging. Will lives in Ghetto City. They all have a maximum of 24 hours. They have to buy time by working every day. Otherwise they will die. Will's mom gives him 30 minutes for lunch by grabbing his arm. She has work tonight and she won't come home. Will sees the coffee price increased by 1 minute. Will goes to a bar and meets his friend Borel. He notices a rich man has 100 years on his watch. Will sees a man that works for Fortis. He kills people and steals their time. Will warns the man to leave as someone might steal his time. But he dismisses Will. Just the Fortis come in the bar. Everyone leaves except the rich man. They want the man's time. So they will fight in what seems an arm wrestling contest. But the man is drunk and goes to the bathroom. There Will saves him and they hide from the bad guys. The rich man is named Henry Hamilton. He has a timer of 116 years. He asks Will how old he is. Will says he is 28. Henry is 105. He lives in Greenwich. All rich people live there and they live for thousands of years. Henry is tired of living, that is why he came to a bad neighborhood and got drunk. He explains taxes and prices keep rising. Because in order for the rich to live forever, the poor must die. At dawn, while Will is sleeping, Henry gives him 106 years. He writes in a window, "Don't waste my time." Henry saves some minutes and sits on a bridge. Will understands he is about to die. He runs to the bridge but Henry dies. Will goes to see Borel, his drunk friend, and gives him 10 years. Borel goes straight into the bar. That night Will mom has to take the bus back home. But the ride is 2 hours. And she only has 1 hour 30. Walking it also take 2 hours, so she starts running. Will sees she isn't on the bus and starts running as well. Right as they are about to touch, she runs out of time and dies in Will's arms. Raymond is the leader of the timekeepers. They are a form of police. They find Henry's body and they want to know where all his time went. Will is sad about his mother's death. He goes to New Greenwich. In the cab he passes through tolls that are inaccessible to the rest of the people. Will sees how the rich people live without the need to run. He gets a room at a hotel. The timekeepers see Will was at the bridge. They assume Will killed and robbed Henry. Will goes to the casino. He has to pay 1 year entry. He plays poker with Philip. He is 85 years old. His daughter named Sylvia is there also. Will bets all his time except 30 seconds. And just before he runs out of time, he wins. He has more than 1,000 years now. Sylvia invites Will to a party. So Will buys a super expensive car and goes to the party. He dances with Sylvia. She knows he has formed the ghetto. Will takes her to the beach and they go for a swim. When they come back to the party, the police come and interrogate Will. He explains Henry gave him 100 years and the rest he won gambling. But they don't believe him, so they take his time and leave him 2 hours. Will attacks them and kidnaps Sylvia. The cops chase him but he manages to lose them. Will's time is running out and he asks Sylvia for another hour. She refuses, saying he killed Henry and she wants to go back to her house. Will denies it. They keep driving and crash the car. The mafia comes and steals the girl's time. She has only half an hour left. Will gives her some of his time. They go to Borel to try and get some time. But he drunk himself to death. They have 3 minutes left. But they manage to sell Sylvia's earrings, getting a day each. Will calls Sylvia's father to demand 1,000 years. He also speaks to Raymond. He says he will kill Will. Will tells them to bring the time to the Dayton Company tomorrow. At Will's house, Sylvia asks about his family. He says his mom died and his dad was a fighter. He explains he used to wait until he was about to run out of time. And when his opponent looked at his watch, he would turn his arm and win. The next morning they wait for her dad to send the money, but he doesn't. Will releases Sylvia and tells her to call her dad. He gives her a gun to protect herself. While she speaks on the phone, the timekeeper shows up and she shoots him. He sees Raymond is about to run out of time. Even tough, he can take time when he wants. Will gives him some time and steals his car. Sylvia is now also a criminal. Her father tries to bribe Raymond, but he refuses. The next day Will and Sylvia are convinced to destroy the time system. They rob the bank and give time to the people. They rob 6 banks in 4 days. The mafia is going after Will, as there is a 10-year reward on him. Will and Sylvia rent an entire hotel. Suddenly Fortis gang ambushes them. He fights Will. It seems Will is about to die, but he uses his father's technique and wins last second. He then shoots the thugs. Will and Sylvia run away. Will says giving money to the poor is useless as the rich just increase the interest. They decide to rob her father's 1 million years vault. Sylvia pretends to give up, but Will holds Philip at gunpoint. They steal the 1,000,000 years. And before they leave, Philip tells them for a few to live, many must die. Police close Ghetto City to keep Will out. Raymond is following them but only has 44 minutes left. Will manages to get through the barricade and gives the 1,000,000 year to a girl so she can share it. Will and Sylvia run through the crowd and Raymond chases them. Just as he is about to shoot them, his time runs out. Will and Sylvia have 1 minute left. They realize there is time in the cop's car. Will arrives first and gets some time. And in a similar scene as the one at the beginning, he touches Sylvia, but this time they both survive. In the news we see everyone has enough time now and they abandon their jobs. The poor people migrate to richer areas. Having seen Raymond's obsession, his partner orders the timekeepers to go home. Will and Sylvia continue robbing banks, trying to change the system.